Welcome to the Ben Lapine template training. We will be teaching you 10 templates today and one template on how to introduce a sound spelling card. The green cardstock shows an example of the templates that our district will be using. We know that there is no perfect reading program. Therefore, we are using the templates to replace or add activities to the program that we felt it needed to be more explicit and systematic to provide direct instruction and allow for student engagement to learn their foundational skills. Using the templates, we provide more explicit instruction, more direct instruction, more opportunities for our students to practice foundational skills, more opportunities for students to get feedback from the teacher, and just more time practicing foundational skills to get to automaticity. In order for the templates to be effective, we need to think about these 5 effective instructional techniques. The first one is unison oral response. Unison means all of our students are responding, all of our students are having the time to think about what they're going to say before they respond, and then they say the response at the same time. In order to get students to say responses at the same time, we have to have clear, concise signaling that is consistent throughout the school and throughout the district. Signalings will include pointing with your finger, tapping with your fingers, looping with your fingers, and sliding. And we will show you how to use all those signaling techniques throughout the cards. You also have to have a nice pace. If you go too fast, only your high students will be responding. If you go too slow, you will lose all of your students. If you are sounding boring, you will lose everyone and you won't enjoy them and your students won't enjoy them. So you have to come up with a pace that's going to get the most engagement from all of your students. You also have an opportunity to monitor how your students are doing with their foundational skills. If they're making errors, which students are making errors, and know that you can pull those students that are struggling and give them more opportunities to practice in small group settings as well as in intervention groups. Anytime there is an error, the teacher wants to correct the error by modeling it, my turn, doing it together, our turn, and then eventually getting students to independent practice their turn. We are also going for teaching to mastery so that students learn these skills and strategies to automaticity so that when they are reading text, they aren't focusing on decoding, they're focusing on comprehending. This template is how you introduce a sound spelling card. It does not have a number for the template, it just says introducing new sounds. When we first introduce this in kindergarten, it's going to be just basically introducing the sound that the letter J makes. As you get going into the grades, you will eventually start introducing sound spellings, the GI, but I'm just going to introduce how you would introduce this card at the very beginning levels. You would tell your students when I tap at the side, you'll respond. Then you're going to say, this card is jump. Card,
Jump.
the sound is J. Sound,
J.
good. Now, if you are introducing this card and they do not respond, you're going to model again. If you hear any errors, you're going to model again and then have them respond back to you. This is card number 1. It's template for letter recognition. All the directions are on this card. In the box, there is a quick reference once you get used to doing the card. In that box, it tells you what the focus is, the wait time, the signal for student response, what you are doing, and what you are saying. It also tells you specifically what to say. We always want to tell the students why we're doing this card and why this practice will help them with learning their foundational skills leading to reading. On here it says you're going to practice saying the names of some letters. I'm going to model for you. When I tap to the side, it gives the students think time. All they're doing is thinking, they're not responding. When I tap underneath, the students are going to say the letter. And I tap hard so that they can hear it. When we start, I always model the first 2. So the students are just watching and listening. My turn. Name, A. My turn. Name, N. Your turn. Name,
A.
name,
M.
name,
S.
name,
P.
Name.
A.
My turn. Name T. Your turn. Name.
T.
I'm going to go back to name,
S.
name,
P.
name,
T.
name,
A.
name,
P.
name,
S.
name.
Oh, I don't know what you're pointing at.
Sorry, that was my signaling not being clear and consistent. Name,
M.
name.
Ooh, I don't know.
Again, I'm not pointing in the right spot. Makes it hard for our students to understand what letter you're pointing to. Name,
T.
name.
Uh,
Oh, you didn't know when to respond because you did not hear the tap. Name,
M.
name.
P.
So it is very important to make sure your taps are precise, loud, and that your students know what they're supposed to be thinking about when you're pointing to the correct letter. This is card number 2. This template is for letter sound review. Notice the word review. These are sounds that the students have already been taught. This is their time to practice it and get to that automaticity. Again, the quick reference is in the box. I'm going to model for you. Again, I do the first 2. I'm going to tap to the side, give the students think time. This pointing indicates what letter they're going to be focusing on and thinking of in their head before I tap. Then I'm going to tap underneath. If it is a slow sound, I'm going to hold my finger so that they learn the difference between a slow sound and a quick sound. If it is a quick sound, like this, I'm going to tap quickly so students realize they cannot sustain that sound and hopefully not get that schwa sound on there. It is important to know the difference between slow sounds and quick sounds so that when they start doing the continuous blending, they know how to attack those 2 sounds differently. My turn, sound, ah. My turn, sound, Your turn, sound,
Ah.
sound, 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 sound,
Ah.
sound.
Ah.
My turn, sound. Your turn, sound. Sound. Sound.
Ah.
Sound. 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 You didn't know how to respond because I was not clear with my signaling. Sound. Sound.
What do you want me to say?
Again, I did not focus her attention on the letter I wanted her to get into her head before she was supposed to respond. Sound. Sound.
I don't know.
Again, she's wondering which letter it is. I have to be precise with my fingers. Sound. This is card 3, template for practicing word reading. On this card, you might have regular and irregular words. Some follow the regular spelling pattern, some do not. The point of this card, the why behind this card, is we want students to practice these words to automaticity, so when they read these words in context, they're not slowing down and pausing and they're focusing on comprehension. The top row is in red because I am going to introduce these words and I'm going to do a procedure called say it, spell it, say it. The words that are in black are words that they've already been introduced to and they're just practicing them. Grades 4 and 5, you will not see the top row a different color when you get your templates. But if your students make an error in any of them, you will use the say it, spell it, say it procedure to correct them. So I'm going to model say it, spell it, say it. My turn, word, said. Your turn, word,
Said.
spell, said.
S-A-I-D.
Word,
Said.
my turn, word, been. Your turn, word,
Bin.
spell, been.
B-E-E-N.
Word.
Bin.
My turn. Word. One. Your turn. Word.
One.
Spell. One.
O-N-E.
Word.
Was.
Word.
From.
Word.
Say.
My turn. Word. Said. Your turn. Word.
Said.
Spell. Said.
S-A-I-D.
Word.
Said.
Word.
Was.
Word.
From.
Word.
Said.
Notice on this one, when she made a mistake, I went back, I did the say it, spell it, say it. I went back to see if she could hold that in her head. Also, I did not redo the whole top line because those words usually will appear down here for them to practice after you've introduced them on the top row. On part 3, when you're doing say it, spell it, say it, you want to make sure that when you say spell, you say the word you want them to spell. If you say spell it, your 5th grader is going to spell IT. Again, you want to say spell said and have them spell said. This is card 4, onset rhyme. The why behind this card is we want students to be able to isolate or identify the first sound in a word. I'm going to tap on the cap, tap on the rest of the marker, and then slide my finger when I want the students to respond. My turn first. P, at, pat. My turn. F, asked, fast. Your turn. P, at,
Pat.
asked,
Fast.
t, ache,
Take.
k, art.
Car.
My turn. K, art, cart. Your turn. K, art.
Cart.
Nice. Now, when you're doing this, you notice the students are not looking at the words. Just the teacher sees the words because we're working on their auditory, hearing, and manipulating of sounds, not having them focus on the letters themselves. This is card number 5, phoneme blending. Instruction. Again, this is an auditory skill, not something the students will be looking at. They're just listening to you and blending sounds together. On the sheet, sometimes I put down the number of cubes I'm going to need because sometimes the word has 5 letters, but there's only 4 sounds, and when you're trying to think of that in front of a class, it could get difficult at times. So again, my turn. I'm going to tap each cube with a sound. When I slide my finger, the students are going to give me the whole word as a whole word. My turn first. K, at, cat. F, it, fit. Your turn. K, at,
Cat.
it,
Fit.
it,
It.
sp, it, oh.
Spill.
This is card number 6, phoneme segmentation. Again, this is an auditory skill. We want students to just hear and manipulate sounds. So they're not looking at the words, you're looking at the words. You're going to have a fist ready. You're going to say a word. As your finger goes up, the students are going to say a sound for each finger. I'm going to start by modeling. My turn. It. It. My turn. Barn. R. N. Your turn. It.
It.
Barn.
B. A. N.
My turn. Barn. R. N. Your turn. Barn.
B. R. N.
Swam.
W. E. M.
Through.
Rue.
My turn. Through. Ooh. Your turn. Through.
Ooh.
This is card number 7, template for sound spelling review. The why behind this card is to identify sound spellings in isolation so that when students encounter these sound spellings in words, they can see them in the word and remember they have a special sound. Again, this is to automaticity so that they do not have to pause as long on words in context. For this one, I'm going to show you a few signals before I start. If it is a vowel-E, my fingers are going to be in a V to indicate that the E is making the A say A. If it is two letters that make one sound, my fingers are completely together so that they are not confused with the vowel-E. When I tap, they will say that sound, and my two fingers remind them that it says one sound. If there are three or more letters, I can do three fingers. If that is not comfortable, I could bracket that whole section with my hand like this. This card also teaches prefixes and suffixes in the upper grades, and they teach them as whole word parts. So I'm going to point to the side, and then I'm going to slide my finger so they read it as a whole part. Now I will model for you. Sound A. My turn. Sound E. Your turn. Sound
A.
Sound
E.
Sound
A.
Sound
A.
Sound
E.
Sound
A.
Sound
I.
Prefix
Pre.
Suffix
Shun.
Card number 8 is sound by sound blending. The why behind this card is we want students to be able to isolate sounds and then blend those sounds together to read the words. The isolation helps them with the spelling. The blending helps them with the reading. Again, students are not going to see these words. You're going to have them in front of you and write sounds up one at a time and ask them to say sounds and blend. Sound. Sound.
It.
Blend.
Fit.
Sound. Blend.
Fit.
Word.
Fit.
Sound. Sound.
Full.
Blend.
Full.
Sound.
I.
Blend.
Fly.
Sound. Blend.
Flight.
Word.
Flight.
Sound. Sound.
O.
Blend.
Foe.
Sound.
N.
Blend.
Foe.
Word.
Phone.
Sound.
S.
Sound.
E.
Blend.
Se.
Sound.
N.
Blend.
Sen.
Sound. Blend.
Sent.
Word.
Sent.
You'll notice on a word like scent, it could be a little tricky. We recommend looking at your words before you're up in front of your class to figure out how you're going to attack the word so you're not doing it on the fly in front of the students. This is card number 9, continuous blending. On continuous blending, the most important thing to remember is continuous. There's no break in any of the sound. Your breath continues from one letter to the next. If we break the sounds at all, our most struggling readers have a hard time pulling it together into a complete word because they will stop at that break. For this one, you want to be aware of your slow sounds and your quick sounds. A slow sound is a letter I can sustain the sound, like M, A quick sound is a letter I cannot sustain the sound, and I have to say it quick so I do not get a schwa sound on it. Like the T, t. I cannot continue that sound. When blending a word that starts with a quick sound, I have to co-articulate the first two letters and say them together. So this would be cat. I will model now for you how to do this card. My turn, blend, man, word, man. My turn, blend, sun, Word, sun. Your turn. Blend.
Man.
Word,
Man.
blend.
Sun.
Word,
Sun.
blend.
Not.
Word,
Not.
blend.
Cap.
Word,
Cap.
blend.
Dot.
Word,
Dot.
blend.
Pat.
Word.
Pat.
Now, if you need help remembering quick sounds or slow sounds, you could put a dot under the quick sounds to remind you you're not going to hold your finger there long. Also, when it starts with a quick sound, you're going to put your finger underneath it to give them an indicator that it's going to be quick and you're going to move on to the next letter. You can hold the slow sounds a little bit longer with your finger and get off of the quick sounds as quickly as possible. This is card number 10. This is template for word reading spelling focused. On this card, you're going to point out the sound spellings that you've already practiced, so your words will match the sound spellings you practiced on the day that you're doing this. These are just sample words right now. On this card, you're going to isolate the sound spelling, then you're going to have them read the word. If it's a multisyllabic word, you're going to blend the parts before you ask them to read the word. I'm going to show you an easy card and a little bit more challenging card that has multisyllabic words on it. Notice when I'm doing this, I'm pointing to get their attention for what they're going to think before they respond. I'm looping my finger when they're blending. I'm sliding my finger when they're reading it as a word. I'm going to model the first two. My turn, sound, oi. Word, spoil. My turn, sound, a. Word, tame. Your turn, sound,
Oi.
word,
Spoil.
sound,
A.
word,
Tame.
sound,
I.
word,
Light.
sound, blend.
Sir.
I'm sorry, that was word. Sound,
J.
sound,
E.
word,
Gent.
sound, sound,
O.
word.
Phone. Oh, well, I wasn't quite sure.
I'm sorry, my signal was not clear enough. Let's try that again. Sound, sound,
O.
word.
Phone.
On this one, make sure if you're pointing out more than one sound spelling, you're doing it in the order that it comes in the word. You're not going to do the vowel first and then go back to the beginning. You have some tricky words that I'm going to show you how we would attack those words on their own. So on this, you'll notice what we call an E drop. The E has been dropped before we added the ending. To do this word, I'm going to cover up the ending and have an E on a card. I'm going to say sound,
A.
blend,
Make.
suffix,
Ing.
blend,
Make-ing.
word.
Making.
In this packet, these tricky words that I'm talking about, there's a lot of examples and practice words for you to try on your own. Another word that is tricky is the ed ending, and sometimes you just tell the students what you want them to say. So on a word like this, I would cover up the ending, sound,
Blend.
blend,
Hook.
say t, blend,
Hooked.
word.
Hooked.
Multisyllabic words, I'm going to isolate more for them by covering up one of the syllables. Again, I'm going to point out a sound,
It.
blend,
Win.
sound, blend,
Ter.
word, or blend,
Winter.
word,
Winter.
sound, sound,
E.
blend,
Sen.
sound, blend,
Ter.
blend,
Center.
word.
Center.
On a word that's more than two syllables, it's going to look like this. Sound,
O.
my turn, sound, ow, your turn, sound,
Ow.
blend,
Found.
sound,
A.
blend,
day,
blend,
foundation,
suffix, blend,
foundation,
word,
foundation,